7,
7,
6,
5, 3,
5,
wait, 8,
2.
2,
4,
1.
Wait, huh?
Welcome to the
and a
Ecopoint
half.
Podcast. How's it going, everybody? Long time no see.
Welcome back.
Welcome
Welcome
back.
back.
It is good to see
Welcome
you all,
back.
ladies and gentlemen. This has been
Right? You don't
busy
get to
last 2
say
weeks.
welcome back already. All
Ah,
right. Well, we're
yeah.
getting to you.
We'll
You're
get
eager.
to
We
you in
know.
just a few seconds.
We run the show around here, buddy boy.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
Indeed.
but we respect you more that you've come to join us today on the Ecopoint Podcast. This is episode 7 with your usual host, Obiwankenobi, myself, from New Zealand. You've got your guy on the other side of the world where I think everybody else is, Mr. Toucan. How are you, sir?
I am good. I'm great. It's a lovely evening out here in good old America. Just trying to survive out here. You know how it is.
I don't, actually, because I've never quite understood just
Well,
how
you
big it
don't.
has been in the past couple months in the year. And we're just wrapping up. It's
Well, let
December
me just
already.
tell you, it sucks. It sucks.
I
I will
know.
say that.
It sucks more that we're in a off season of a lot of news but no action. I've definitely seen some action today. But BrainGamer, I'd love to welcome you to the Ecopoint Podcast.
Well, damn you, we're not gonna give him like. All right, well, we just want to give you a great warm round of applause to somebody who's been wanting to be joined for a long time. Hasn't had a chance, but I caught him at a good time. Everyone, welcome BrainGamer. Some of you may
Thank you.
know him.
I am really, really glad to be here. You don't know how I've always wanted to talk about Overwatch League with a bunch of people who also have probably the same passion for Overwatch League as I do, probably more. So I am very, very honored to be here. Indeed.
Yes, we're happy to have you as usual. I hope everyone's doing well. Staying safe out there in these very weird times we have. But
Very weird
any
indeed.
amount of content that we can give to you guys.
Squeezed
Yeah,
out of
the amount of content we
off-season.
can you get. Yeah, we're just trying to milk the off season at this point. It's the only way I'm managing to make my revenue.
We just managed to make our time pass a little bit slower, as it's like the Christmas season. No updates just yet on the Christmas events, but in the competitive scene, I think there's been a bit of a Christmas if you're in China. They've actually just had a wonderful host of show matches. Now, Toucan is having a feeling that it's not a big deal. I can certainly agree to a point, but we've actually got to see some of the new player signings over in Asia with Guangzhou Charge being able to play a little bit, Chengdu and Shanghai,
Chengdu.
and who have I missed?
Oh
Hangzhou
no.
Spark and all their new signings. They're a big as 12-man roster.
Yep.
Before I do get into that, where did we want to begin, team?
I would say. Oh wait, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just being
Um,
distracted by Super, who's
I think we
enjoying himself.
should. And that well, it's not completely far off from Thanksgiving, but let's start off with our let's start off with our appetizers. We start off small. We just work our way up from there.
Yeah, sure,
I think
sure.
we should talk about yeah, we don't play around here. We get straight into the meat. Well, we don't get into the meat yet. The meat is for the end, or the dessert. Whatever you preferred. If you prefer to eat your desserts first, it's a little weird, champ. But all right, Boston Uprising. They have signed Fam1 from the Dragons as their potential new starting main tank.
Potentially, yes.
Potentially. I think this looks pretty official to me.
I think the signing, like on paper, this signing is an upgrade from Fusions. Stan 1 has a very average Orisa. Ryan is kind of meh, but he has a very good ball. And I actually think his Roadhog was kind of underrated. But, I think if he starts, I won't have an issue for it. But I think Fusions should definitely come in for Ryan comps. If Ryan,
I feel like,
becomes
in my
Mega.
opinion, I think that Stan 1, while not the best, definitely not an S tier main tank. I feel like last year the competition of main tank was very small compared to in season 2 and season 1 potentially. because it's hard for me to come up with top 5 main tanks. Like the only main tanks that I would consider like genuinely great were like Smurf, Fearless, Sato, Fate, and those are the only ones. Those are the only ones that I can really think of. Because Rio, even though Wansho was
I
like a
would.
very good team, Rio was
Rio is
only
like
really good at
very
Restaurant.
average. He's very
Yes,
average.
Rio's very average, and you can make the
Gushui, I guess.
Make a
Gucci.
statement for Gushui. His stocks have went down this year. Just as an
Gushui
end
is
of
not the
season
same
review.
guy who gets
I feel like
like.
Gucci was just boomed by Orisa jail. I feel like the best main tanks this year were like the ones that weren't boomed by Orisa jail, aka only like 2% of the main tank roster. Surprisingly, Ben Best was actually very good, but this is not about Ben Best. This is about
Oh, how
Stan
could I
One.
forget? Yeah,
But
I think overall
I feel
the
like
signing is
I
a good
feel like
move for Boston. I think Laurie could probably squeeze some potential out of him.
definitely, but
Yeah.
more than anything, I see it as okay. I feel like fusions. Okay, so I know that we're talking about Stan One here, but considering we're talking about main tanks and Boston, we have to also kind of consider fusions. The way I see it, I think that fusions would have been a lot more motivated to play, be it not for the fact that Orisa was meta. And this may be not a bit too far fetched, but I think that that fusions took the Orisa jail a bit harder than most players.
I would
So,
agree with that. He hates
so
Arisa with a passion.
considering the fact that Stan One was actually not that bad at Orisa, he was actually pretty good, and that he has good coaching in Lori for what we know, maybe, just maybe, this could be a good signing. Especially since the Overwatch balancing team apparently only knows how to play 4 heroes, Orisa, Sigma, BAP, and Brig. We could probably see BAP. We would probably see double shield and therefore Orisa much more often. So Stan One definitely not a bad signing. Also, I just realized that considering how surprisingly good Fusions and Punk were good at Roadhog in the playoffs, they have 3 really good Roadhog players. So if Roadhog era becomes better, they have a lot of options.
Yeah, there's some flexibility to be had in here, and I'm thinking of the Korean language barrier that this team could have. I don't think it should exist if Laurie is leading this team. I think they'll manage to make this mixed roster work out right off the bat, but to be able to expect them to go really high early on is my expectation of this adding Stan 1 in here. But like Toucan is probably more concerned it's not going to be super consistent if the meta doesn't
I
shift in his favor.
I think Boston for once won't be a bottom feeder team.
I feel
They'll
the
have
same
to-
way.
I'm a hot. Here's a take that I heard. This is not my personal take, but I think it's kind of funny. I am 37, and Laurie about to be the new Krusty and Striker.
It's unreal.
Honestly,
I
here's
mean,
how I see it.
if they can get a player like Assassin, Faith as a main
I doubt.
support, that
I
would
doubt they're
be
gonna get
very
Assassin.
scary.
I doubt they get
They
Assassin.
I don't think they. I think Boston's not completely stupid enough to
But
think Czech is that good.
sorry, Shats. The
But
thing
you
about
know,
Shats is this: Shats was never really a good projectile. He was always a good hit scan. Like, look at his best heroes: Tracer, Widow, and in the time and when he played in Goats, Zarya. He was the Zarya of the team, and while Blase was the Brig, Blase was a projectile, and Shats was the technically the hit scan by playing Zarya. So considering how he's basically a considering how he's basically a hit scan, I think that's the biggest problem. They trained Shats and they've always used him as something that he shouldn't be. I feel like if you train him as this sniper slash widow specialist, because while IM37 is a very good hit scan, I don't think that he's like a long range hit scan. Like, I think that IM37 is more of a Tracer, McCree, possibly Reaper kind of guy. You could train
so like
Shet to be like,
Striker.
yeah, like Striker, but Striker's a lot more flexible and much better, obviously. But you could train Shets to be like Ons, Ash, Widow, every now and you could obviously use him as the tracer since we've seen, in my opinion, and this is a pretty hot take, I consider Shetz's tracer to be one of the best of the non-Korean, possibly the best non-Korean tracer, in my opinion. He did really
Shax.
good. Okay, not the best non-Korean tracer because I forgot that's student assisted, but he's up there for non-Korean tracers.
That's okay. I'm gonna kind of like wrap this up here because I got nothing really much to say about Boston.
Same here.
Yeah, me
Okay,
either.
the best. This is completely off topic, but like the best non-Korean tracers has to be Shax, Soon, Kevster, Dante. Fifth. I mean, shit, it might actually be Czechs if I'm not forgetting anybody.
Oh, what Korean? I mean, non-Korean hit scans or Western hit scans specifically?
Western hit scans.
Like
Oh, Western
not
hit scans.
like EU,
Um,
like the EU's.
Yeah,
I
EUs would
think
count.
this is gonna be a hot take. I think Dalton has a better tracer.
Dalton. Yeah, you make a good point there. Dalton actually had some of. I saw the stats, and apparently Dalton actually had like the second highest damage of all the tracers, which is insane, considering
The
how he
most
was on the
deaths,
Titans
though.
this year.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
short period of time.
But then
But-
again, look at Hanbin. Hanbin had like first and everything, but in
Where
deaths
did
he was like,
Hanbin come from?
Yeah, Mr. Hanbin.
yeah, I know.
Where is he now?
I'm just saying that like Hanbin, he did really good, but he died a lot, according to the stats. He died a lot. So I mean, I guess that will come with that extra aggressive playstyle, unless you're called Bumper. But Bumper's not here, so we can't really vouch for him. But yeah, I think that when it comes to Boston, this specific signing in Stand 1 is definitely not a bad move. Remember,
It's a
we have
decent move.
it's a decent move because remember
decent.
we have better coaching. Because Mineral, I want to say he sucks as a coach. He's an awful coach. Pretty good
This
guy
is
from what we
true.
know, but an awful coach.
He could be a good guy, but terrible.
Yeah, he was a terrible coach. And the fact that we have, according to secondhand, one of the most highly respected head coaches in Contenders Korea. This is a good signing for. This is good for Boston. I like how Boston prioritized on their coaching before making any signings on players.
Yeah,
This is
that
good.
same
This is
pattern happened with the
true.
Dallas Fuel. We talked about it quite in depth last episode, since there's been no changes to that team when we talked about them.
Yes.
I can say that leading by the coach and to what power and extent you're going to give them, Mineral probably had lots of power, but to misuse it or not be able to make the full extent of it, like to be able to have his other personnel, like the other coaches that were on this team, and really make the use of it, was really showing. And for what purpose? I think it's best that when you put Laurie in charge, he's going to have the connections with some of the right now top Korean players in the scene in Contenders.
Definitely. I mean, look at it this way: the main support. Okay, I wanna. If it's okay, if we can wrap up the Boston by talking about this thing that I just remembered.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good main support talent that they can pick up.
Faith.
Think about it.
Faith.
Yeah, I was thinking about Faith.
We were
Because
talking
Faith
about
isn't done just
Faith.
Phoenix.
Faith, we were talking
Faith-
about on Atlanta Reign, weren't we? There, he could be anywhere.
No,
Nope.
Atlanta Reign still. Atlanta
they
Reign are
have
staying with
Masa.
Masa. Atlanta Reign have their roster pretty much done at this
They
point.
believe.
Remember, Sephi is.
No, they don't. They don't.
No,
I know
I
they're
think
not-
that's
they don't
not
have a back-
quite
they don't have a
done.
backup main tank.
They haven't
They're not
confirmed the
quite
wrap-up.
done, but they have like they have at least one player secured for every position. Because remember,
That's
Sephi
enough,
is
yeah.
Sephi's in love with Gator and Hawk. They have Edison, who's a really good player.
I'm
Pelican,
gonna
who
say this.
showcased good
I'm
talent.
gonna wrap up the Boston thing real quick with just quickly talking about Atlanta because I think Atlanta is interesting. Gator and Hawk are not gonna be good under Sephi. You give them
Definitely,
like a.
I agree.
There's a reason that was. I'm gonna say one of the best Western tank duos ever in Contenders.
Got
Those
ruined
are-
by Brad
because
Sephi, whatever his last name is.
Pretty much
now
transitions us to what we want to think about this.
If he ruins Pelican, he ruins Pelican. I'm gonna lose it.
Well, let's
I'm
find
gonna
out.
lose my.
Me too. Just look at it. He boomed Erster. He boomed Erster.
So I gotta ask then, it's not completely shrouded in mystery. That's what we can agree on, right? There's enough players on here that can just jump on to this LA Winter Ball that they're hosting next week. So there's a couple of
Yes.
tournaments like the one that I've just watched today in China, and this one for
However,
LA. They're gonna bring in Mayhem and Gladiators and the Rain together as well as
however,
themselves.
if I may say,
On the topic of LA, the Glads have picked up a flex support that goes by the name of SKEWED. I'm gonna keep it 100. I have no idea who this guy is.
no one does.
No.
No one does.
So according,
I've only
according
He's
to
I've
unknown.
peeked into his story, so I'd just love to tell you from what I know. He was on Oz Gaming, a team that was below middle of the pack in Contender's career. It's obviously not the
Yeah.
team, and this is a very DP thing that he's done. He's looked for the talent that's not being scouted for, and he wants to bring it up to the Overwatch League. He thinks he's got potential. He wants to see if he can do it with someone that could be a good sub-in for Shu. I wonder and I ponder if he's just a bench player, if he's just going to be there for the scrims. Is he got
Double
the
be
capability
more
to be
for-
brought up with the rest of the stacked roster that they have?
Okay, so here's my take
think-
on this. Okay, so you go ahead
Mhm.
first. You go ahead.
Yeah,
first.
go ahead, Toucan.
Sorry.
I think
Right.
SKEWED could probably play for double flex support metas, which I think are going to be very common as time progresses. You can never have like too many supports. I mean, having good supports is kind of crucial. You can have a great team, but if you have very mediocre supports, I'm looking at you, Washington, and last year Gladiators.
And
But-
Outlaws with Crimson. And potentially Hydration if they summon him in as main support, which I'm not surprised if they do. I'm not surprised.
Maybe Paintbrush, just bring the fucking happy boy back in.
The happy boy? And we're already jumping on. We already zipped through Boston, Atlanta, Gladiators. Now we've just pretty much jumped onto Outlaws. Happy to.
I feel like
I like
Paintbrush
this
should
phase.
just dedicate to content creation. He actually submitted a content like Outlaws content creator
Yes.
video. So I don't think I feel like Paintbrush as a content creator for Outlaws will actually fit in really well. So yeah. But back to I had this take on SKEWED, and it was that SKEWED,
I think
if Deepe's magic works, maybe we could have a brand new. Because remember, we used to think the same thing about Lip and Aunts, and look at them now. So what if SKEWED turns out to be this amazingly hidden talent that is surprisingly like a really good Zen player? Because from what we can see, he specializes in Zenyatta, and then he develops to be really good at like Ana and potentially Baptiste. Because Shu is incredibly good. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like
did you watch this clip?
whose clip?
This
Did
clip
you
here.
not watch him sleep Did you not watch him sleep a point blank target?
Allow me
It
to
was
show you
so
what this point
impressive.
blanks. Yeah, let me full screen this for you, buddy. It is
Yeah, I saw it.
some brilliant quality right there. I can tell you, I can see everything. There it is. The
I'm
sleep
beyond-
dart.
Yeah,
That sleep dart on the
Sleep dart.
Doomfist
the
in
point
midair.
blank.
Yeah, that's exactly my reaction if I saw that
Point
on
blank
stage. He's got it. He's got something. You can pull it out of him, DP, but you're gonna have to prove it.
But I'm gonna be honest. I've never trusted DP as a coach. I think he's kind of whack. I think they're way better coaches than DP. He's definitely not the best
Definitely.
NA
honestly.
coach. That has to packing 10 deserves my hat for that one. But if DP gets it right, he gets it right. I think he's always had a knack for scouting for talent. think
Maybe he
that's
should
kind
be.
of it.
Maybe instead of being full-time head coach, he could have been full-time GM. I feel like.
Is he
Unless-
is he
unless
the GM as well?
No. Brenda is GM. B Saw.
Yes,
VS
Brenda is
Bisu.
Brenda's
Brenda
a
Saar
good
will help him a
gentleman.
Brenda
lot.
Sue.
Yeah.
She's apparently.
Hey, if
I mean,
Brenda,
just
if
look at
Brenda thinks
Brenda.
it's okay,
She got Moth. She managed to pick up a player from the Shock.
Yes, indeed.
she got Muse
And she got Shu and
and
Sock.
Muse and Sock.
Sock.
Shu and Sock.
From the charge?
You can laugh
I
now.
hate you so much.
You can
I
laugh
didn't
now.
want.
I hate you.
No, I don't want to laugh. He's
So
angry. I'm
much.
just shaking my head. Not in
Oh,
disagreement.
sorry,
I
it just
agree
happened
wholesomely, man.
Alright, so we
Let's
can
move
go
on,
right
shall we?
It just happens naturally. It just happens naturally.
Oh my
Oh, don't
God,
worry
this
about it. I
dude.
saw what was coming when you said sock.
My bad. It just happens naturally at this point. But anyways, but jokes aside, I feel like things could go two way. One, Skewed can wet the bed harder than who's the worst flat support last year? I don't know. Just throwing like
Dogman?
Dogman. I'm gonna be honest. Dogman was below average, but I don't consider him the worst. I feel like
Wolf.
there were worse. Well, yeah, he could wet the bed harder than Wolf, or he could become the next Twilight. I would say he becomes like a highly.
No,
I feel like highly is like.
No,
I think
he
he's kind of like
becomes
highly
like
in terms of skill. In terms of
he
like
becomes the next
in terms of
Karib.
skill, he becomes like the
The
next
next
Kariv, yeah. Only that
Go
instead
with
of
that.
getting, only that instead of being washed up throughout the season, he just starts washed. Or not. Who knows?
The Karib. But yeah, that's how the signing is. It can go either skewed it's just a diamond in the rough, or
This looks like a Boston pickup.
but
This looks like something
anyway,
Boston or
You gotta
Battle would've
have
done.
them in the community. You gotta have it in the
Uh,
ecosystem to bring new talent, even though that new talent is
the
still within the
Ecopoint.
same area.
Now that we're in the topic of Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen,
Well, I was
if I'm allowed to, what if we talk about
Oh.
Valiant now with a
Oh.
new announcement?
no, we're gonna
No?
go north, and then we're gonna go get some sun.
Yeah?
Yes,
What's
indeed.
north?
I
So,
could go for some beaver tails.
Vancouver. They
Oh.
have signed
They have
FR4
Huge
Fried
pickups.
I call him fried because he's like a French fry. He looks like a French fry.
I gotta skip that.
And you have they signed Fire, and they
Fire.
signed
Forest
the
Fire.
one, the only Linkzr.
Finish.
Sir.
Linkzr.
Finish.
You know what's funny? The
Finish
finisher.
Outlaw.
Repost the finish to make the finish faster. You know what's funny? I actually was looking at Linkzr. I was actually watching Linkzr's stream, and he mentioned that one of the reasons why he wanted to go to Vancouver is because to the Titans is because he wanted to live in Vancouver to go sightseeing.
Hey,
Hey.
he's got priority.
Yeah, man knows
That's
that
true.
not
He
everything's in the
knows.
US. You can
Exactly.
visit
He's
in
got the
Canada.
benefits. It's like, you know what? Probably gonna be my last year in the league. Might as well watch some nice forests. Might as well look at some nice forests.
Yeah, I feel like of the three that I want to talk about,
But yeah,
we're
I was
looking at Fire
talking-
now.
Linkzr from reports is a little. I am talking about Linkzr.
Okay, so
Damn
so we
it.
do heads or tails. If it's heads, it's Linkzr. If it's tails, it's Fire.
This is actually
Pull it up right
genuine
here.
information. Linkzr, from what I've been told, the people who are close with Linkzr is
I got-
very nervous. He is very, very nervous because he's never been with any of these players before, and it's just a completely new team for him.
Yeah, I feel.
And I'm gonna also be
I feel
honest. Linkzr
like
can
it.
either compete with KSP or Glister, or he can be doing absolutely nothing. Linkzr is one of the most inconsistent hit scans in the league.
He's one of the most Seoul Dynasty hits.
He's streaky, but the ratio that he actually gets into that psyche where he can just absolutely kill everybody has dwindled
That's
over the
a
past
very-
few seasons on Outlaws.
Yeah,
I can't be
You
optimistic of
can't-
his time near the tail end of it, but if he starts over and he's feeling the adrenaline that is coming into a team with so much uncertainty, he has to depend on his own talent. He can bring it back. He can do it on this team.
Maybe the fact that he has a lot more inspiration from the beautiful landscapes of Vancouver, he could probably, most probably, pull out the
I
almighty.
maybe he can bust it back to season 2018. Maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, Linkzr. I think Dalton and Linkzr is gonna be a decent DPS duo if Linkzr carries, his end of the DPS duties. But FRD, a lot of people don't particularly know why he was signed to the team, but I'm starting to live by this statement a lot more. I'm not going to judge someone just because they were on the bench the entire year.
True.
Yes, I agree.
Please, for your
Crimzo-
benefit, Crimzo.
Crimzo actually. Sorry.
Just sorry on the topic of FRD because I feel like we don't have much more to say on top. But if you do, let me know. Objective, anyways.
I actually have some opinions on Fried. I call
Yeah.
him Fried. And on Fire as well.
Yeah.
So I want to start this off by saying that I remember Crimzo posting this. He said that just because someone's in the bench doesn't mean they're bad. In fact, some really good players are on the bench because of mostly the meta. And I think that FR Fried is one of these players. I mean, we saw him last year with the Rain. He actually did really good.
I
He
liked
did
him on
very
the
good at
rain.
Roadhog.
Yeah, they kind of got
did- I
angry
liked him
because
as
they didn't see
well.
him and they saw him subbed in for Pokpo, Pokpo, and I thought he did great. He managed to demolish the New York Excelsior twice.
Not only that, but also I feel like Fried could actually like up the spirits of this team because he has a very funny personality.
He understands the
And-
game, that's for sure.
Isn't
Yes.
he 6'5"?
Yeah, he is 6'5", ladies and gentlemen.
Apparently,
195
yes.
centimeters for folks like me. That reads in centimeters.
And he's a chef.
He's a chef.
Cool.
A very good chef, I'm
It's
sure.
true.
You need a good chef.
I think FRD.
He
I
actor
hope
and comedian.
FRD does good.
makes-
And
Oh my, he's got more talent than some of us together.
I'm gonna actually go on a limb and say I do not hate Vancouver's coaching. I don't hate it.
I'll be perfectly
Like,
honest.
I
have
don't
absolutely
like it.
no
I don't hate
idea
it.
about Vancouver's coaching.
I
have
want to
I
absolutely
like
need to
it, but
see
I'm
more.
not seeing it yet, Chief. Until we start seeing
I
them
don't
play the
think
first
they're
couple matches,
horrible.
I don't think so. Either.
Maybe I mean I think also on the topic of Fire is a low key main support he just needs a push. He needs a push. When he played on Envy, he was good. When he was who else did he play for? He played for Envy.
I think Fusion University, maybe.
No,
I think it was Fusion University. Who? All right.
That was Car
research.
on Fusion University.
Yeah.
no?
Oh yeah, that was Car. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Hold
problem
on, I
with
got
looking at this team now versus the team that we had in the middle of the year that dissolved this Korean mental that we had of this really super powerful team. And then we winded up with an all-NA roster with a lot of people really struggling to be able to put it together at such short notice. It's left a bad taste in most of us to
He's
try
played
to
for
redeem themselves.
He's played for Team Envy and Envision and Hammers Esports.
Ah, thank you.
Nice.
Fire's break was actually very good in my opinion.
I feel like Fire is
actually
actually
played
pretty
for
decent.
man.
Definitely. You know, one of the good things about
Hey,
Fire.
is it-
Sorry.
Hmm?
Should I
Carry on.
continue?
No,
Or-
no.
I feel like one of the
Yes,
good things
yes.
about Fire is this. So, you know how most people, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know too much, but I feel like nowadays, I feel like most people in general, most main supports specialize on either Lucio or Mercy, because one, they're more fun to play and watch than Forgita, and two, they've been the core main supports for years now. But I feel like Fire is kind of like Mika in that he somewhat specializes in Brigida in the way that he plays a very good Brig when compared to Masa, in my opinion. I personally think Fire is a better Brig than Masa, but we don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
I need to see I want to see good things out of Fire.
Yeah,
I
me
wanna
too. I
see-
feel like Fire right
I
now
like
is
his name.
probably one of their best players. Personally, I think so.
I think their best player is probably Dalton or Linkzr.
I feel like it's either Dalton or Fire or Fried even. Definitely Rolf is their
There
worst.
were
Have we
now.
not had an
Shredlock
announcement
is the
yet?
most average.
We haven't had an announcement for their
About
tank
who?
line, have we? Just apart from
No.
Fried.
We just know that Shredlock
no,
is
their
coming
tank
back.
line is just Shredlock and Fried.
Yeah, I can see Shredlock coming back.
Okay. I'm gonna wrap this up for mine on Vancouver. I think Shredlock could be a very solid main tank. He can play. I mean, we've seen him play basically, like when that whole blow up happened. We saw him play basically every main tank that was required to him to play.
And
Like,
he didn't do
obviously,
that
didn't
bad.
Yeah, more so
I mean,
he did it out of
obviously,
pressure, which is not a consistent way to actually burn
he
if
had
you're
a
not prepared for it.
He had a meh Arisa, he had a meh Ryan, he had a meh Monkey. He's very meh, but it shows that he has a willingness to flex when he needs to.
That's what you
But-
need in a good main tank because of the rarity of them, right? We talked about stand 1, still the case with Vancouver, whoever they have officially signed and playing on the day 1 of 2021. I've wrapped up what I've got here for Vancouver. Are we ready to travel eastward into Canada?
No, we're already in Canada.
Travel further eastward to, not the capital, Toronto.
Toronto is in Ontario, which is the province where Ottawa, the actual capital, is also in. Therefore, Toronto is the sub-capital.
Aha! And I like subcapitals
Yes.
because
I
that's
thought
where I
I
live.
thought we were going. I thought we were going south. back
South
to
towards
San-
But isn't
Shock?
Toronto southeast of Vancouver?
No, we gotta go to sunny LA and give our condolences.
Yep.
Valiant it
It's always
is.
sunny.
We want to backtrack.
Alright,
Always
some
sunny
of you
in
may or may not know, KSF or Kyle
The last member of the 2018 Valiant roster.
is officially gone.
Yeah.
It's been released.
You may press your Fs.
It is now KS. And the F is in chat
Exactly.
for our man.
Wait, you want me to press? Wait, I'm pressing F. Big Fs.
Packing 10
Big
right
F.
here
Big
with his tweet.
But-
You
Would
can't
love
hear
to
it
have
because my mic is canceling.
Packing 10 says he would love to have him on the roster again next year, but best of luck to KSF. I will miss him a ton. One of my best memories coaching will always be working with Kyle and Goats on how to optimize a Zarya play and just laughing and growing as a player and coach together. And that was a real sweet moment I'm sure they had because this was a
I think
redemption
KSF is a fan favorite. I think
Definitely.
that he's a funny dude. I'm
Good
gonna say
personality. Pretty good.
KSF is always gonna. I think KSF still has a place in the league. I don't know where. And there's
Well,
rumors
according
that
to
he's
Halo,
going-
the
I
Outlaws.
don't know why, but that's the most Houston thing ever. KSF has always been a player I liked. I mean, let's be honest. That man has had a glow up as well from season
I've
1.
Never been a
He
huge
was
fan of
not
that.
like his
Sorry.
beard. Like
I've
his
never been a
beard,
huge fan
no.
of the Valiant, but as a fan of Zarya, I can respect the guy.
KSF also respect for him to going in the World Cup and playing when he actually got to play. He has a gold medal to his name, which is not a lot of things USA players can say.
Yeah, it took
He has a
3
gold medal to
generations
his
of
name.
3 years of the Overwatch World Cup, but it finally happened. Let's not forget. This is still a remarkable feat that he could basically own up to what would be far difficult competition for someone as a Western player jiving against the onslaught of
This
power
is
teams.
this is like a weird thing, but like quickly, do you guys think the World Cup is harder than the actual Overwatch League?
When you have to represent your own country, it can be.
I don't
would say
think
for many
that
it's
the
not.
whole deal of representing the whole. Okay, so when we're going to go strictly onto like the player side of things, it mostly I don't really think so. Mostly due to the fact that at least okay, there's one major thing that we have to take into consideration, and it's the fact that in the World Cup, all the players can at least speak the same language. So there's no language barrier. So we have to keep that into consideration. All the German players can speak in German. They can comment German. All of the Korean players can comment Korean. all of the English-speaking players in either UK or US teams can speak in their native language in the English.
Yep.
All the Spanish-speaking players in whether it's
Yes.
Spain or Mexico can speak in their language, and all the Chinese players can speak Chinese in Team China. So I feel like that right there makes it a tad bit easier, but it's a bit harder due to the fact that you're playing with players that you've probably never played with before outside of casual ranked. And that's not this and that's definitely different,
Or
way different from
maybe
Overwatch.
maybe they're on the same team with you.
Unless you're Hunters,
But
which you make up half of the contenders China roster.
Just all the players in the
Or
Overwatch League. That's how it's always been for Korea, but now China has caught up, and Team USA has just decided not to trust on the contenders' talent, which has made them that much more reliable, right? So you can see the real
but
struggle
then
is for
again,
the
remember,
overseas ones,
half of Team USA retired.
and that is a little bit shocking to hear. No pun intended. I just think when you look at it fast forward to today,
that'd be a good idea to talk about potential. I'm gonna say it, World Cup rosters are really hard to predict.
Yes.
Really hard to predict. If it's
I-
it, like Team USA can like be so many things.
the
It can be
I feel
planning
like
so many.
for that
I
is
think
done.
that if Team USA would have existed this year, I don't know. It would be really hard because
Keep in mind that Super and Space said aren't gonna do it again.
You have to understand, like most of these, the more lesser known countries that are eligible to participate, they would have taken up to 6 months for a committee to be formed. The players would have to be, put into their scrim tests and try to work out the compatibility to see if they can even travel. On top of the fact that they had to be mechanically good enough. Then third, you then just cram in what seems to be like a month before they can even fly out. And if you had a situation like Team Thailand, they arrived, but at customs they got held back and they were disqualified because they weren't able to attend BlizzCon for last year. So a lot of these logistics make it super difficult for them to continue doing World Cup. Never mind the fact that a pandemic has
yes.
occurred. So I would really want to see the whole group stages play that they did because that seems to have solved a big logistical issue, but it costs way too much money. So bringing them to BlizzCon was the best idea, but it was at their own expense. So you could basically do the equivalent of the Overwatch League and buy yourself in, and try to get yourself into
Also,
BlizzCon.
you don't need to be 18, I believe, to compete in the World Cup.
You don't
You do now.
because if not, you do
Yeah,
now.
you do now.
Oh, that
No,
sucks.
never how. No,
Not
there's
before.
did
No,
not
Flower was not of age because after season 2, they then
And
started to
neither was
formalize the
Sinatra
travel
nor
at 18.
Zachary.
Yeah. So then they were 18 and they were in
The rule
Overwatch League
get-
teams, so that's why they selected them in the third year in 2019.
Oh, so you can't just be a contender. Wait, you
No,
can be a
so you
contenders
can
player
be a
and still get
contenders
skipped,
player, be 18 because you're not in the Overwatch League when you're 18, believe it or not. Truth be told, I
That's
think the
such
challenge is you're in these teams, and if you're underage, you really want to prove yourself. And World Cup was a great opportunity if you're slightly underage, but you were eligible enough to be in the Overwatch League the year after. So we've lost a whole bunch of that talent that was from more of those obscure countries.
Imagine how many young players want to prove themselves and they just can't because the league is stupid and don't want
Yeah,
young
like
players to get
I have a
recognized.
really,
proper,
really good example of that, actually.
proper from O2
But
Master,
I think that's probably another discussion for another day.
definitely.
Probably discuss.
But
But
now,
anyway, moving on to Texas.
I
We're
actually
gonna
want
go-
to. Okay, before talking, I actually want to say like one little thing about Valiant. Now that we're on the topic
Yeah, Adam.
of Flex DPS with KSF,
Okay.
I feel considering how Valiant are, I've always been memeing about this, but what if Alyssa just randomly joins the team? I feel like it's a very Valiant signing. Considering they probably might go budget. I mean, I know they picked up Adam, and Adam was like the best player in Contenders Australia. But keep in mind, it was still Contenders Australia. So I feel like if there's
Contenders
one
Australia is
player,
weak.
exactly. So I feel like if there is one Flats DPS that I can see going realistically to the Valiant, that is already in Overwatch League, it's illicit. Because he has potential.
I could see Illicit getting signed. He has
Because
potential
imagine
to be
if
good.
Illicit gets developed by Packington and becomes a starter. That would be so funny. Just seeing
I
Illicit
would love
just
that in
bench.
KS.
Just imagine like the bench boy for the Seoul Dynasty, and it becomes a starter in the Valiant and becomes like really good.
Time will only
possibility is
tell.
there.
Time.
You've set the seed. You've
But
sown the
anyway,
seed.
we're packing our bags and heading to. Ugh,
Ah,
fucking
Yeehaw.
disgusting.
yeehaw!
Yeehaw.
Yeah, we're going to Yeehaw Land.
And I cannot stress this enough. Ha. Coolmat
The Houston
2020.
Outlaws have signed
Piggy
they have signed
and
Piggy
Hydration
and
2.0.
Hydration
JJ.
2.0? You mean JJanggu?
Okay, so apparently JJanggu used to be a DPS player and then just like very recently became main tank.
How recent?
I don't
How
know,
recent?
but I'm not too sure. But apparently quite recent. I looked up a Wikipedia article and there's only one main tank there, Orisa. The rest are just DPS.
He was in
All
Orisa
right
jail.
then. That's gonna be interesting.
It was in Orisa jail, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna just say this. Let's not hate on a player even when they haven't even touched the game yet. They've not they haven't touched the Overwatch League stage yet.
Yes, I mean look at
DJ
Ons.
Slender is real. This Odds I feel like got less slack because he was going to the Shock.
Yeah, that's
No one
true.
really knew who he was,
But
people
remember,
know who
he was
Piggy
the
and JJ
only
are.
Yeah, but remember that Ons was the only signing the Shock did.
This is actual. This is besides Twilight. This is very, very factual.
No. We're talking about off season. Last year's off season.
Yeah,
last year's
Ons was their
off-season,
only.
Ons was their
player
only new
signed.
pickup. Yeah. Then they signed Tile and Twilight, and then we got the new off season of the Shock, which we will talk about later. But
Very soon.
so,
In due
okay,
time.
so in due time, yes. Based on,
But I
sorry, go on.
think JJ. I understand where people are coming from. It's like I'm one of those people that are gonna be like, just wait and see. Give them time. There's gonna be 4 to 5 months of them just training together.
Yeah,
I feel like but I guess the argument is that he's played so bad in contenders, and he had. But what I've heard, Piggy and JJ had amazing coaching.
Apparently,
From what I've heard,
they were in Talon.
Talon. Who is that coach of Talon, or like the coaches of Talon?
I
think I'm gonna do the research on that, but
Okay.
Piggy is obviously the better tank out of both of them. I don't think that's a question. I just JJ. I feel like I'm gonna support him, but at the same time, I need to see stuff out of him.
So apparently, according to Wikipedia, their head coach was an American named Spazzo, who is now in the Toronto Defiant as an assistant coach.
Yeah.
He was their head coach.
Spazzo,
An
yes.
American head coach.
Yes. He was an American head coach who was the head coach of Talon and then joined Toronto Defiant as an assistant coach. And after that, Piggy and JJanggu left the team to join the Outlaws. Other than that, their assistant coaches are these two Koreans called Artist and Seon. I don't know much about them,
Interesting.
but yeah, Talon actually got 4th place in season 1 of Contenders Korea.
Keep in mind, this is a team, Talon Esports. They dominated in the Pacific region before it basically had turned a little bit more low key with their tournaments because they're no longer just a Contenders Pacific region. They're just hosting tournaments now for that general region, which has brought up some more talent locally instead of just second-hand Korean teams, which is what was the real problem. So them being invited as the top contenders Pacific team for 3 years in the running, or 4 times actually. They dominated, so moving them up to Korea seemed like a very reasonable deal. So them being
So
fourth, bringing this team over, and some of the old guards of that Talent Esports coaching roster that's now in all sorts of spheres in the Overwatch League now. I think there's some potency here.
Fun
yes.
fact: Arkin was on was the head coach of the team for a year. He was the head coach of the team, which I think that's when JJ. So wait, Arg was was the head coach in 2018. He ended up in 2019. How long were Piggy and JJ?
In 2019,
Okay,
I know that Piggy
so
was in
JJ
2019.
joined the JJ and Piggy haven't been on the team for
Yeah,
most of
but
the
from
year.
what I've heard, Piggy in 2019 was one of the main reasons why the team did so good. Apparently, he was like really good on 2019. So I have,
I think also fun fact they had Muse, but then they let him
yeah,
go
I
to
remember they
Eternal
had
Academy.
Muse. Muse was in a lot of teams. He was in Talon, Eternal Academy, WGS Phoenix, and most recently he was in an A team called 200 MS, and now he's in the Glads with his buddies Shu and Moth.
Give JJ some time, and let's see what Junk Bunk can do as a head coach. Let's see if we
like
can squeeze the potential. Just
I like
squeeze
how
the
we're
potential
just
out of him.
I like how we just mentioned Jungkook and completely ignore Harsha. However, keep this in mind. Jungkook and Harsha have worked together before. They know their style.
That's right.
So this is good. This is
And
good because
Junk
I
is
think that
regarded as a very good uh he's
developmental
good
piece.
and he's a good strategic coach as
Yes.
well.
So considering how they're both sharing the position of head coach as co-head coaches, then this is actually pretty good for the Outlaws because you have to remember Valiant did really good by signing pretty subpar players but having an incredibly good coaching staff. Maybe Houston could do something similar, but with probably not as good of a coaching staff, maybe, and slightly better players. I mean, Happy was quite good, and not gonna lie, Crimzo showed the stats. He was second to Violet.
Yeah, listen, what can you say about Crimzo? He is like their social media manager. If the social media manager had no leash, just said whatever it took just to get the marketing out there, that this team is the ones to look out for.
Yeah,
And
I feel
look,
like the
Crimzo is probably doing stuff that's probably a disservice to the fact that they are one of the larger teams with larger fan bases. I have nothing to
yes.
say against that. It's just that they are able to make Overwatch a bit more prevalent in their home country, in their home city. And if you have
I
Happy
remember
on this roster, I can't wait to see his role with Oliver go click clack with Crimzo blip lap.
Happy. From what I remember, Happy can speak pretty good English because
Hated.
he was barely on any full Korean teams due to the fact that if I remember correctly, he is very infamous in Korea for selling accounts.
Yeah, so to change your ways, you pitch yourself onto the Overwatch League and show your stuff. That was the case for
Yes.
Sato with the massive ban because
Also,
he's built
this
a
is
business on that.
very interesting. This is like a huge coincidence, but this is very interesting. Happy was like the dark horse, like the black sheep of the earliest Element Mystic. So the fact that Happy joined Houston while the rest of Element Mystic became Dallas is pretty funny and interesting.
It is. It really is. There's really not enough room, and Houston obviously bought him out. You know, we thought that Diem might have moved to Dallas Fuel at one point, this time 2 weeks ago. He is now back on the Shanghai Dragons. Is there anything else you guys had to add for Houston, or are we ready to move on?
For Houston, there
Um,
was one thing I wanted to say. I think I already mentioned Happy. Oh yeah. Speaking, I was going back to Crimzo.
Yeah,
There were 3 LFT posts that I personally find to be pretty funny, and one of them was Crimzo's because like he said LFT, and then right after he just posted the stats to see, for all the haters out there. Here are the stats. You see Violet right below him? That's me. That's me.
And I say it like this: your stats are inflated because you played more half the damn year, so you better have good
True.
stats.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Crimzo, I like him as a player. I like him as a person. God, dude, Violet stats are like, I'm gonna just say it. Crimzo is honestly not even that good compared to someone like Lastro. Lastro was better than Crimzo.
Yeah, Lastro was in my opinion, Lastro was top 5 flat support. That's a hot take, but I consider it.
Yeah, no, I
Because
would say he was up there.
I
He
feel
really
like
changed my
top
mind.
5
I
flat
wouldn't say
supports.
top 5. I'd say top 10.
Yeah, I feel like top 5
but
in NA. In NA because it was Violet, Alarm, Gundam Jin,
Yep.
Lastro, and Fielder. Yeah, those 5. Twilight, in my opinion, is a tad bit overrated because he
Violet's like an A tier.
yeah, Violet's like an 8
He's not in that
because
tier. He's an A tier.
yeah, because he did really good at Ana, but that is just Ana.
His brig was good.
But
I want to hear that. His
that's
brig
not flat
was good.
support. That's not flat support. That's main support.
Guess what? He played it.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel like we can now go over to California.
Let's go to Asia.
Once again. Asia. Yeah,
So-
definitely Asia.
Yeah,
Asia.
traveling to
We're
Pick one
traveling
of
to
the 5.
Shanghai. We're just going to Shanghai today.
Yeah,
Going to
well.
Shanghai.
Well,
So
have I got
Shanghai
news for
decided
you?
to pull an EQO and bring back Diem.
They
Their
did.
mascot.
I'm gonna just say it like Diem probably was released because Diem wanted to explore his options.
And then he explored his options and
Think
said,
about it.
I'm coming back.
Every team had a sniper specialist at that point. They had someone that could play hit scanner sniper. Guess who needed a hit scanner sniper? The Dragons needed a hit scanner.
Dragon.
Lip's hit scan is super overrated. Lip is one of those slightly overrated players. I don't think he's completely overrated. He has a great Sombra. He has a great McCree.
And that's it.
I don't want him touching Ashe. I don't want him touching Widow.
I feel like Diem might be a new starter over Lip. Considering how he performed today in the ESM, he did very good at Ashe. He did really good, honestly.
I would
Yeah.
agree.
It's a DM and Flitter.
If Hitscan is played,
if double hit
let's
scan
not
is
forget
happening,
Fleta plays hit scan.
yeah,
Fleta can
but
play
if
hit
double
scan.
hit scan is happening, I think Fleta and Diem is gonna be the way. I don't think it's gonna be Fleta and Lip unless it's obviously Sombra. Because I think that Diem can play like Ashe and
I think
obviously
Fleta
Ashe
has a better
Tracer.
pre as well.
Yeah. But yeah,
Crews ever
overall, Shanghai definitely.
It's a good move in general. It's a good pick. I mean, it's technically a pickup.
It's a good.
It's a good pickup.
It's a good pickup.
It's a good pickup. They bring back a fan favorite. They bring back someone who still shows that he has it in the tank.
They bring back Asian Carpe,
Carpe's
but
better.
slightly worse.
Also, hi Urster. I hope you're doing well.
Cool.
Hello. All right.
Urster. Here's okay. I want to give this bit of information on Urster. A bit of an opinion, in my opinion, on Urster, because
an opinion in your opinion.
Yes,
opinion within opinion.
Exactly, because we live in the 20th 20. Urster is
we
gonna
can't
be
say
way
opinion.
better this year. I feel like Urster is gonna be way better because for two reasons.
The best out of him.
Yeah, Moon. I feel like Moon's gonna do. I feel like this is not. Remember, this is not Valiant Moon. This is Dragon's Moon. So I think he's gonna do way better. Cause think about it. For these two key reasons. One, Urster hated Atlanta, so he wanted to go as much. He wanted to leave the team. He wanted to leave Sephi because he knew he sucked. And so yeah, he hated Atlanta. Apparently, according to Dogman, after paraphrasing it, Dogman was like he was uncomfortable with the team. Obviously that means he hated his teammates. I don't know if Urster hated his teammates. I don't think he hated his teammates. I think that Erster apparently
There
Erster
were
got
some internal issues, probably.
yes. I think that Erster got along pretty well with Fried, considering that Fried has Erster as his profile picture and Erster has Fried as his profile picture. But
What you mean
in
now?
Twitter. Yes.
Yeah,
Fried's
those two are like best buddies.
Fried's profile picture is Erster, and Erster's profile picture is Fried. If you look at Fried, I think it's Fried. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Look, that's Fried. And if you look at Fried,
Erster's gonna
if you look at
have-
Fried, his profile picture is Erster with glasses, with sunglasses.
This guy.
Yeah, that's Erster.
yeah,
Oh.
that guy.
Wow,
I
this is a
think-
really good picture of
alright,
Erster
so
then. Moving on.
I just IFRG.
And
But
two,
overall, I
second
think
reason-
Erster's,
sorry.
Erster's gonna probably have some new life injected into him. Dude, imagine Erster and Fleta in a projectile meta. Oh my god.
That is gonna be so
But-
good.
I think we have, but that is not the main meat for today. Not the
Definitely
main meat. That's not the
That
main.
is just
not
the
the main
appetizer.
course.
Not
Just
the
third
main meat?
appetizer.
It's not the main
And-
meat. What is the main meat?
We're gonna go
It
back
starts
to
with S.
California.
It starts with S and it ends with Hawk.
It rhymes with cock.
Shockwave?
And it's out of stock, just like the PS5s.
It
Shock,
is.
my man.
We are going to the SF Shock.
Starting
They
with,
have-
you know what? Everyone
No,
thinks.
no, I'm a Shock fan here. You don't get to say nothing.
True, I'm the Shock
I'm
hater. I'm the Shock hater.
If you look on Obi's screen, you know what? Let's just start with the. Okay, don't look at the one below. But if
We
you look
already
at the one at
have.
the-
It's too late. We've already shown it. This guy.
They
Shut
have
Glister.
signed former London Spitfire hit scam Glister. And they have also signed former Charge Flex DPS Nero.
Right here. Oh, here.
No, that's right there.
Pending
Nero.
league approval, but without a doubt, this guy has been wanting to return home to California and stick with a team
First
that's
ever
going to be able to
California
work
Pending
with.
league approval
Uh,
are the three magic words of the off season.
PLA.
This is true.
Pending
All right,
league
let's start with the first one. Let's start with who was signed first.
Nero.
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 Well, technically,
Brain, me and you can probably speak from experience here. Not a lot of people got the signing at all.
No one
Like, when
understood
we
it,
looked in-
really.
can I
No,
say
people
something?
are hating on it. An
Can I say
ATP
something,
cord, bro.
please?
You know what? If you want to fucking say something, then say it.
Okay, sorry. Okay, don't worry. So, thank you, by the way. Thank you for this.
I'm just letting this conversation
gonna-
write itself out,
I-
and it just needs to go
I
this way.
feel like many people.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Okay, so as the two of you probably know, or at least as Toucan knows, I don't like the Shock. But not because I don't like
Nobody
the Shock.
does.
It's because I don't like how often they win. I love the Shock and their players and their staff. I absolutely do. But I'm gonna let that. But obviously, I'm not going to let that bias take over the analysis, because the facts are still the facts. And that's that Krusty is a godlike coach. So you cannot underrate any pickup that the Shock make. Because if they're doing it for a reason. And that's because Krusty is going to make his magic. He is going to turn Nero into the next rascal. I believe in Krusty. And I know that all the Shock fans hearing this right now also
Are
believe it.
splooging their pants. Yeah, that's right, Twitch. You're not banning me. Banning me. I say splooge. But I think obviously it's a downgrade. Like a downgrade at the moment. Because Nero is considered a far
Downgrade,
one.
yes.
Obi
But,
can
but I
probably.
mean,
I'm
it's
gonna be
Shock.
honest.
Is
with
anything a
Obi
downgrade,
here.
really?
I'm gonna be honest here. I mean, yes, you're going from Rascal to Nero. There's an obvious
Yeah, but
like cutoff point.
definitely.
I think this is gonna
not
disappoint
bad.
Charge fans. Nero's May is super fucking average. At points, it's ass. Although has a better
Nero's
May than Nero.
Although has a better May, but Shock have that covered. Ons. It's funny.
Uh,
Ons' May is not that bad. Ons-
He clicks heads. Okay, I get it. But okay, I think Nero's gonna be a specialist. That's what he's gonna be in for. He's gonna be in for projectile. And
Projectile,
if
yeah.
Krusty
He's not a
says
flex
what is
DPS.
true, Tile will be playing like
May.
what other people are not gonna play. I guess he could play Torb.
He's gonna be the
Like Torb.
he's gonna be like the leftovers.
Bastion.
All right, I guess I will play Symmetra. 'Cause they will-
Hey, look, he could be a
I
great
feel-
Symmetra for you know, and that's the secret that they've got.
I'm gonna-
That's the right coaching.
Let's all be completely honest here. The odd man out is Tayo. What do
Definitely.
they like? What are they gonna do with?
He's gonna be their cheerleader.
He
I
will
do-
make
oh,
them
Joe.
I
a
do think-
best player.
Hot take.
Krusty's exact words
Hot
to Nero
take.
will be passed on
Hot-
to Tayo once again. I'm sure he hasn't said
Hot-
this the first time.
Hot take. Tayo is a better Kree than Ons.
Think
not
the
even
same
close.
thing. I honestly think the same thing. I think that Tayo is probably the best Kree there besides most likely Striker. I that's a hot take,
Factual.
but I don't care. I think the
Glister
same
is-
thing.
Ons has a worse Kree than Glister.
True, Glister is a better Kree. I feel like in season 3, the
It's
best
Striker,
Krees.
Tayo, Glister, Ons. That's what it is.
Yeah, Striker, Tayo, Glister, Ons. Yes, I think the same thing. I think that Tayo is good for Kree metas, because if it does happen when we for some reason get to see Kree Tracer, we can see Striker and Tayo and click heads and pop off. That'd be really nice.
I mean, beyond. I also.
Glister.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on the Nero signing?
Not
In
much
my
to add
opinion,
that
it's
you guys
good.
already said. Yeah, I think
It's
you guys pretty
okay.
much summed up what I would wanted to say anyway. So I'm actually thumbs up on what you guys have said. It's the
Also-
consistency. If you're gonna put him on all sorts of heroes, he's no Fleto, but for the ones that he can master, he's probably gonna be their best Pharah player on the team. Glister is gonna be a great hit scan. Tayo is gonna be somewhere in between, and who knows how he'll
Cheerleader?
develop.
Whatever the hell.
Hans
Whatever
is
the
more
hell
like a
they want
cheerleader.
him to
The
be.
striker could be the cheerleader as he leads this team with
Super is the
Striker-
cheerleader.
as that's the
That's
base,
true.
and then you
Super
build your way up.
Super Tayo, and Twilight are going to be the social media cheerleaders. I mean, definitely. Just look at
Alright,
Tayo.
but-
Half of his tweets are him
alright.
saying Shock is the great team. I love the Shock. And yeah, he's just begging to not get released. He's
Yeah,
I
I
think,
got
you
the
know,
feeling
I
you guys are
thought
big Shock
Tayo-
fans today. I mean, like, of the past 6 episodes, I've never heard
Brain
at one
hates
point.
the shot. He hates how we win. What is
Who?
wrong with us winning? You hate us. Like, why do you just like people want to see us fail?
It's the
You know,
expression
this
on his face. He
competitive
loves the
Overwatch.
success and failure.
You know-
squander it in
you know-
success.
I'm gonna be 100% transparent with you guys right here. You know, the only reason why I want Shock to lose is because I want another league skin.
But we
I
got a
want
league
another
skin.
championship skin. But that's the thing. We already have a Shock championship skin. I don't want another one, or potentially
get-
no,
you'll
not
get
at
a-
all.
You're
not
gonna
at
get
all.
it whether
You'll
you
get
like
a
it or
flip.
not. You choose by paying
You're
with
gonna
your
get a
wallet.
You're gonna get a Fleta Echo skin. You'll be fine.
I don't play Echo. I play Ash.
You're gonna get it anyway, aren't you? You're gonna get it
Yes, I'm
anyway,
still buying it because I like Shanghai. But anyways, you know what would be nice? You know, speaking of Shock, you know what would be nice? What if
aren't you?
because by Shock winning, because if Shock win again, what if? And this is gonna be a complete pipe dream / tinfoil condom theory.
All right.
What if they bring back the old Shock skins for a limited time?
You're talking about
Yeah.
the Doomfist one and the Zarya.
No, I'm talking
MVP.
about
Doomfist
I'm talking about the epic skins, the orange ones. We have access to all the old Shock skins
Oh,
plus a brand new
Oh, that
Echo
would-
skin.
that would feel scummy for Valiant and Florida fans. That would feel scummy.
True, but then again, they
Who
did
cares?
win. Who cares? Exactly. I honestly, I'll be really happy because I like the old shock skins way more than these ones, in my opinion. I know it's a very hot take, but I like the old skins more than the new ones.
and the black has grown on me. But okay, moving on to Glister.
Glister.
The shot is saying "fuck you" at
The
this
shot. They only signed Glister so that New York couldn't get him.
Yeah, it was a big power play right there. You
This is
think
good
you'd
power
go
play.
for
It's like
something new
it's
and
like we have
unknown,
so
but
much
they're done
money.
with
We
that.
have so much money. We're gonna sign this so you guys can fail, not so we can succeed. So you guys can fail. We have so much. It's like the rich bratty kids. Like we have so much money, we can do this. There's so much.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Glister should have no reason to be. Has now like nothing against him for why he should be the full-time starter. I think
Glister.
On should come in for Ashe, Widow, and Sombra metas. Even then, I think Glister and Nero got that Sombra stuff covered.
I think that
Because I'm gonna
Glister
say
is gonna
this:
be
I'm the
boosted.
biggest On stan ever. You can ask ATP Court. I will.
Ons is such a great player. I love Ons as a player, as a person. He's so funny.
Such an inspiration.
Yeah,
Okay.
and what I like about Ons is that I see this very little on other players. You can see Ons' personality on his play style.
He's
And
a
that's
flashy, funny dude.
exactly, and that's why I love Ons. He's probably my favorite player after Choi Hyobin because I love off tank. That's my favorite role, and Choi Hyobin is Choi Hyobin. He loves his mom's cooking,
But okay,
and he's such a wholesome boy.
in all seriousness, I think Glister should be the full-time starter.
Me too.
Glister can do
Everything.
Can flex on the heroes that
I think
Ons
that Glister
cannot.
can do everything Ons can and more. Especially considering that
I
both
think
of them
mechanically Ons is whatever
better.
the hell he is. Positioning wise, it's a little sus, chief.
Positioning wise, yeah, what are you doing flanking? Is
Glister
Widow.
and Striker. That's ugh.
I feel like Glister will be more of the Ashe player, whereas Ons will be like the Widow player, like Widow Ashe kind of metas. Glister will definitely be the Ashe. I personally think
Ons is gonna become Diem. That's what it's
true.
gonna
It's
become.
gonna become DM. I think that Glister is kind of like the how is it?
Not a missing piece. Backfill. Not the bench boy, but backfill. They go through this
Yeah.
process.
Tayo
could be the
is their
starter.
certified bench boy. Tayo is their bench cheerleader.
I was also
And
trying to see if I can
nothing-
back this guy up because this guy didn't come from, like small contender scenes, representing Japan
He
to
was
come to a
probably
big
one of
team
the
to be
best
sit down.
contenders players in the league.
Exactly.
He was one of the
So
best contender-
this,
he was probably the
listen
top
up.
5 DPS players. Like you could have picked up.
Tayo boosted Team Japan.
I've got one
I
very
genuinely
important thing to
believe
point out though, because this key thing about the San
What?
Francisco Shockers that in season 2, when they were playing very predominantly goats metas, and carrying over to the fact that they still have Coach Krusty, who's designed this team, he goes with a very fluid roster mentality. He wants these players with the fact that they're stacked in DPS right now to be able to swap them in and out, but they're not subs. They're designed for a specific purpose, and it could literally be that Tayo plays on Hanamura
They're
with a
not bench
Genji.
boys,
They're not bench boys to his eyes. He's got value towards each and
which
every
is
one
a
of them.
good thing.
It's not a stacked
No.
12-man roster that's
Once
just going
he
to have
gets the best
half
out
on.
of his players.
Yeah, he's not
All
doing
they need is
internal
to pick
scrims
up
with these.
Gigery for that PR.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a
Who?
full roster for this to work out. But
I
the
really
fact that he's
think they're gonna sign
disproportionately
one
put,
more player.
I think
Me
they've
too.
got
I
5
think they're gonna
DPS
sign
already.
They
Come
need an
on.
off tank.
They have
need
5
an off
DPS
tank.
in Super. Is what I'm.
I don't say they need an
Gigery?
off tank. I think they need a backup off tank.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Choi Zarya, not that great.
It's definitely like Choi is obviously he's in Overwatch League. He's there for a reason.
The
He
question
probably has a better
you're asking
than
then.
everyone in our servers combined. But
Definitely.
it's not.
But
we
we're talking
need
about
to-
Overwatch League level right here. In
Who
my
would be
opinion,
a good off tank signing?
okay, so in my opinion, here's how I see it. Choi is a god tier diva, god tier Sigma, and actually a surprisingly good Roadhog. But Zarya is what he's most lacking. What off tank is really good at Zarya? This may come as a surprise, but we're talking about Shock and Krusty here. Gagery. They get that PR. She specializes in Zarya.
I actually low-key don't think that's horrible.
Remember,
It's not the
this-
best signing,
it's not the
but
best,
it's
but remember, we're talking about Shock. They can take not best and make it the best. Not only that, but also remember that you're signing this for Zarya, who is currently the character that's going to receive the least amount of playtime in the Overwatch League because of how the meta has been. So
yeah,
it's a pretty safe bet.
you never know.
There are very few Zarya specialists in the off tank department. Most of them are DPS because of goats, but Gagery is one of them.
Yeah. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to wrap this up
This
because
is fact.
the Shock conversation has gone long enough for me to tell you that Gigery on this team would be
Okay,
pretty
real
useful.
question is, do Shock repeat? They three-peat it.
They three-peat.
Are
Yeah,
they? I think it literally this year. No, this year it's literally who's gonna come in second place.
Yeah,
No
either they
team-
three-peat,
no-
either
no
they
team
three-peat or
will-
they tank, or they tank it. They three-peat or they tank it.
Shock have the best. There's literally it will have to be internal. There's nothing internal wrong about that team. They've been together for so damn long.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's literally just
watch
has to be
watch
personality
Agape
clash.
wet the bed and just break the whole team. I just realized Agape and Glister came together. Kinda. No, they didn't. They didn't.
Oh
I
yeah, oh god, I forgot
Agape.
we had him.
Agape. What if Agape and Kosaurus becomes a downgrade to like Arachne?
Kosaurus is good. I
Yeah.
love Kosaurus.
But what about Agape?
But-
What about
Agape,
FD
he's-
Guard, who was on this roster now to take place of Moth?
FD God is Western Lee J gone. Let's be real here. Got like Lucio,
He
okay Mercy.
I think he could be a better Moth. I think he could be better than Moth.
I don't think he could be a better Moth, but I think he could be a better
But
Lee J gone.
Honestly, I think what they need, they need that one player that's cool, calm, and collected. That just keeps the
Gagery.
team calm when they need to. Like, I don't think FD is what Moth. They need someone
another
that's always
Moth.
collected and doesn't get,
Tilted.
I think Nero low key wouldn't be a bad like calmer because I've never seen Nero kind of lose his mind.
No.
He's
Oh,
very
man.
he's very
I can tell it's
like,
getting really late
No.
for you guys over there because we've now gone full circle. There's like going to be a feedback loop here that I'm sensing. When we go
Man,
back to Nero, we go back to Glister, we go back to Arms, we go back to Tayo. Yes, that's right. So I don't think there was much else to say about F.
SBB and Anamo.
Yeah. So we're ready to go
SBB
back to
and
Asia.
Anamo.
To Asia. To the
wrap it up.
esports capital of the world.
That came second place.
Alright, Soul
So-
fans, we're gonna quickly do this for you. I'm doing this for you, Luck. I love you. But okay. So SBB and Anamo, great pickups. Like if you wanted someone to, fill in the leadership roles of Toby, there you go.
There
And
you
want
go.
you want a team.
You got
want a
Toby, and
player-
you split them in two.
you want a player that brings consistency, doesn't like feed his brains out, is always very passive, which I think this is how the team is going to play.
Yes.
Also, please don't make Marvel play off tank for the love of God.
Please. You know what? Okay.
Signings. A tier signing.
A-tier
A tier
signing,
signing.
definitely. SBB, in my opinion, actually no. As a player, he
Sounded
fits in.
like, in my opinion.
Sorry, I think that the way that SBB's leadership style works, he kind of sort of has to be a player in order for it to work, in my opinion, because it's kind of like
I don't think
stand
so.
by your
I don't
stand by your
think
side
so.
rather than I'm like me directing you guys or something, rather than yeah, I know, but
You can still be
Yeah, I
right
know,
by
but-
them. You can be in the same room as them.
exactly.
Prophet leads by example.
Jester's not a leader. He's
Jester
just
is not a
he's just a
leader,
main tank.
but
Therefore, team
SBB is a
captain.
vocal leader.
Marvel's like
Exists.
Marvel assists. Fitz is like the little brother who just performs really well.
Creative is the young blood.
Creative is the
And
guy that throws
you-
the eggs into the same wall and it somehow just works. So it just
If
It's
you
like-
ask
Also,
if you ask
it's like
creative to
I
make a
have
sandwich,
I've been using this pencil for 3 years
okay,
and
it's
it's never
pencil.
failed me. It's never failed.
This
if you
pencil never
ask
needs to be
Creative to make a
sharpened.
sandwich,
So
put-
far,
you
Seoul only
ask-
need. Alright,
they need
go
an
on.
off tank. They
They need-
need.
Janu or Gagary. I feel like those are the two ones that I can see. Janu or Gagary. Gagary because Zarya, and let's be real here, they got Sigma cover with Marvel. Gagary can play the diva. She's a pretty good diva. Very good Zarya. Jester can play the hog. So there we go.
Career
Gagary is good in that
represent.
scenario. And considering how Janu's Zarya is actually not that good, maybe people want Janu. But keep in mind that they have a lot of like off tanks represented by because think about it. Marvel is a very good wrecking ball, which Janu also is. But Janu is not a very good Sigma in my opinion. Marvel is a very good Sigma. Janu is an incredible Roadhog, but Gesture is a better Roadhog, in my
And they all
opinion.
suck at Zarya.
And they all suck at Zarya, but you know who doesn't? Gagary. She's also very good at Diva. So I think
Or you could just get Gabe to stay.
what?
Gable C.
Yeah.
Gable C. I feel
we
like
talked
he's gonna
about
go to either
this.
Glads or Fusion. I think he's gonna go with either Glads or Fusion. Most likely.
Shock,
I
just make another fucking power move.
Allow
We
me to
have Gable
transition
C
straight
for
to
Zarya and Zarya only.
Gable C. The name rings a
Alright,
bell from
but-
last episode. Did we not confirm or
Very.
rumor?
We do not
where he
know
went?
where he is going. No one knows where he's going, to be honest.
Okay.
Watch him win the Outlaws content creator contest all of a sudden and be like, screw you guys, I'm not LFT. I'm gonna be streamer. Obviously that's not
Harblue is
happening.
LFT, but alright, in all seriousness, Obi, I didn't hear what you had to say for the Soul signings.
For the souls. Oh yeah.
For the soul
ahead.
signings. No, I think with Gable
Yes.
C, if he really is an unknown at the moment, this is a good team to put him on.
He has it.
This is not the
Yeah.
ideal team that Seoul probably are looking for. As far as candidates, they're probably looking at others as well in their own contenders, and probably looking at those inside circles they have access to, and seeing who's really passionate, who's really going to deliver to represent South Korea.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a young player, that wouldn't be a bad team to go to. You have leaders around you.
You've got many
You just have all
veteran
the leaders in
players.
the world.
Yeah, we thought 2U was going to be able
Jester
to
would
stick around.
scare me.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
2U.
they made that was their biggest Papega move. Just
Which
letting
one?
go of 2U. 2U, they let
2U?
him go.
They let
2U.
him go?
Yeah.
What?
Can we please just re-sign him? Please?
Yeah.
And please re-sign Toby? Please.
Sign
Where-
Alyssa.
He's God.
Sign
Mr.
we
2U.
stand Alyssa.
Just re-sign everyone you dropped.
Resign everyone but Bedosin and
Michelle.
make Alyssa the starter.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say for Seoul. And yeah, we know there's some rumors about like Albert. Yeah, GM of Florida. He posted that board.
Yeah,
That's just a whole can of worms
Let-
that I'm
let's
not
hold
trying
up.
to open up.
let's hold up because BrainGamer, other than Gable C and Gigery, can you name any other off tanks that you think would be great in the league? Just off the top of your head.
In the league,
Anyone else?
I mean, we have John who's in the market,
Yeah.
but I feel like John wouldn't fit in too many teams. Because remember, keep this in mind, John
ASA.
KS, yeah, KSA. Note, I think Note is gonna go to Paris based on the leaked trials. Note is trialing for Paris, but I think Paris pick up Elevote. This is a bit of a
I-
tangent here in terms of Paris. I think that based on the few leaks we have of Paris budget pickups, these are some really good budget pickups. Definitely, I think.
They
my
are.
God.
Yeah, I'm
Plus,
impressed.
Onigod. Chris, remember, Onigod wasn't ping.
Okay.
We have to keep this in mind. Onigod was held back by ping, and Elevote was held back by roar. and Losses was held back by Visa.
Yeah.
All these players were held back. So I think that
I
if
mean,
you
it's
put them,
just Losis
if you,
is not honestly that good. He's a good
yeah,
round.
So,
He's not.
allow me
Uh,
to be able to answer some more suggestive solutions to some better Korean tank talent. That was the post that Albert Ye posted this morning. And here's this massive list that he had on a board that he's just asked. I just want to know. Pick a couple
what's
players. Who
QOQ?
do you think I should sign on to the Florida
QOQ.
Mayhem for
all
Monday?
right. I'll go first.
Okay,
I'll go first.
you go first. You go first.
I'll go first.
Yes,
Okay,
please
so
do.
he's looking for. He wants a
Let's see what-
championship mix of vets and maybe a rookie or two. Okay, so let's just get Gargoyle, Yaki, and BQB away because we already know that they're gonna re-sign them.
No, but yeah. Yaki's actually not gonna resign. He's in the same contract.
Let me finish, you fuck.
Sorry, my bad.
I'm sorry, Brain. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to.
No,
Don't
no,
worry.
we all get
I'm
along well
used to
enough
it.
on this. We know not to take it seriously.
I'm used to it.
Is it because of the expression you make all
Alright,
the time
main
on your
tank.
profile?
All right, they want a vet. They want a vet. Give me Fisher. Give me Fisher on the Florida Mayhem. That guy deserves a chant, and Vancouver wasn't his fault. He actually showed that I think Fisher still got it. If you want a backup to like Gargoyle, please God don't get up. Please God, please don't get up. I think Gargoyle is just fine. I think Gargoyle can stay as the lone off thing.
Yeah, Gargoyle's fine.
It's him a good. They want a rook Stellar.
He's
Would
not
it be
rookie.
bad?
He was in Toronto.
Yeah, but would you want to treat him like a
Temporary.
rookie? I think I would.
True. Merit's good.
Ace.
Oh, look, the
Ace
runaway
and
players
Arrow
listed here. They really like the runaway players, right? Just looking at this list.
Yeah,
For
they have
flex
Yaki,
DPS,
BQB. If we're talking about runaway Kyoku,
Yeah. Oh,
Libero
runaway.
to Florida wouldn't be bad.
Hey, listen.
I'm gonna say it. If you want to get a vet, look at main support. Go down 4 spots.
Slim.
Toby.
I thought Toby as well.
If you want, give me Fisher and Toby as the vets, please, God.
No,
I mean, bring in Sang.
no, you
Bring
can't
Sanguinar
just
as
bring
well.
Toby into the Mayhem. It just doesn't have the
Yes,
same
you can.
DNA.
He's
The element of surprise is very cool, but I don't know if Toby would be wanting to join the Mayhem particularly.
What team does he want to go to? I don't know.
I just have a hunch that he's just not into the Florida Mayhem, even though this season has really reworked their DNA.
I mean, I think he could probably give the young guys like a little thing or two, but also I like that
the main
guy's
support has
name.
always been like the older brother, so makes sense.
Toby could, All right, so my predictions are Fisher, Toby, then like 2 backups for BQB and Yaki. I don't know who. There's a lot of good players. Rascal is. I'm gonna be honest. They get Rascal. That's a big boy.
That's a
move.
huge
Would you
move.
pick up someone like
But
Nene over Merit?
No.
No.
Or how about Libero
Eh.
over
I would
Rascal?
get Libero.
Over Rascal?
Oh,
Yeah, this list is very
It's
conflicting.
more realistic. It's more realistic that we get Libero than Rascal, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Right,
I think
I'm
I'm sick of seeing Libero photoshopped into a San Francisco Shock jersey because that is looking less and less like.
we are going next day tomorrow. We will sign Libero. It's just another screw you to
We
the
get
league.
free out of jail. Okay,
Alright,
so
aren't you
may I
a
give my opinions on
Florida fan,
these?
Brain?
Yeah,
Yeah,
do you want
okay,
to go
here's my
left to
opinions.
right? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go right from left. I think, and I'm gonna bet my fake money on this, that Sanguinar is gonna get signed to the Florida Mayhem. And
Hey,
but,
I can
but let me
that.
explain why. I have semi-evidence. It's not full evidence, semi-evidence. I have made 2 replies to Sanguinar's LFT posts, which had the light 'em up Florida hashtag, and he liked both of them.
Mate,
Keep in mind, maybe he just likes every single reply to his tweet.
did you see him like
But
every other tweet below it? Apart from the Flora Mayhem ones?
I don't
Maybe he never just
know,
came around
Ash.
to them. You know.
I feel like he likes every tweet, but that's fairly specific. That he liked my tweet with the Florida Mayhem hashtag
I think he just likes the frog.
twice.
Kobe and Sanguinar.
Twice.
Champ.
I think that the most likely to join, because here's the thing about me. Here's the thing. The Florida Mayhem have always. This is like a pretty like a pattern that I've seen from Florida. They sign a lot of young players. At least the new one. They sign like young players that are hyped up to play the game. Realistically speaking, Toby's not going to join. And Slime, I also don't think so. The ones that have the highest chances, in my opinion, to join Florida are Sanguinar, Unique, and Faith. But I don't think Faith is joining. I think
would
it's
like
either
to see
Sanguinar or
Waffle.
Unique.
Yeah, I would swap Faith with Waffle, but these contenders players are the ones who are really hungry for it.
Now for Flut's DPS, I'm not gonna. Okay, so obviously I'm gonna get this one out of the way. Alyssa is not joining. I just say Alyssa because we stand Alyssa. I'm going to make that a new meme. I'm going to change my profile picture to him. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm going to be the new Alyssa stan. He doesn't get enough love. He played decent May in last year. Yeah. I don't think Alyssa joins Florida. I think he joins the Valiant. But who knows if they pick up Alyssa? That's a pretty. Remember, this is the 2020 off season. Everything is a possibility. But for Flut's DPS, I think that their most realistic ones are Valentine.
Yeah, Valentine for sure.
And possibly Libero. But once again, what if I throw the curveball and I do say that Alyssa joins?
So then what was the point of memeing about Alyssa? That's just where you're wrapping yourself into your own blanket. And a little
it feels very warm, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it does. Illicit and then illicit.
Those are my three predictions. Illicit, Assassin, Valentine, and what was the other one?
You wanted one more?
For Flut's DPS, I think illicit, Valentine, or what if they throw in decal for no reason?
Why not?
Now for Hitscan, BQB and Merit. Those are the ones that I see. That I see personally. BQB and Merit are two hit scans. BQB, he did really good this year. I feel like he could, in the top 5 most improved players, BQB was astronomical this year. Really good Ashe, really good Reaper, really good in general. His Widow not the best, but he can work on it. And Merit, very good player. I find him, in my opinion, better than Ace, maybe. They're on the same level.
Better than Arrow and Develop. I've not heard of Flora on this list, but
now for off tank, I've heard that Free is arrested, and just for this reason, we have to vouch for him. JK. Realistically speaking, I see Gargoyle coming back for sure, and if it's not Gargoyle, I see QOQ or that's it. I just see Gargoyle or QOQ.
They could play
Janu. Maybe I don't think Janu's gonna join.
They need a main tank. They need a main tank.
Well,
everyone's saying OGE
on the ATP cord. No, they dropped Karayan.
They dropped Karayan. He's on O2 Blast now. I think that OG, many people, I think that OG could be the veteran, but keep in mind there is one player that, as Toucan mentioned before, not only is he a veteran, but he's also quite young, and that's Fisher.
I thought you were gonna say Kaiser.
I was gonna say Yakpong.
No, not Kaiser. Not Kaiser.
This is gonna quick hot take. Kaiser is extremely overrated sometimes.
He's got great English, by the way. I would like to see him on a mixed roster team. We're not seeing him move anywhere. He seems
to be Kaiser should dedicate to full-time streaming. Yakpong.
All right, so you think Fisher?
I think Fisher fits in the role the best because remember this. Fisher needs... Okay, remember this. Fisher, in order for him to play well, he has to be the only main tank. because he wants to be the starter always. That's the reason why he had problems in Seoul, specifically. And in the case of Gladiators, it was something else, probably like language barrier or something. But in Seoul, he had problems because he wanted to be the full starter, but he was sharing time with Marvel. But because Marvel fit in the team better, then he left. And that's why on Vancouver he caused no problems because he was the only main tank.
Can he
He
play
was
ball?
happy. He can probably play
How good
ball.
does? How good does?
But
There's a lot of question marks.
there's a lot
about
of
that
question
one.
marks. I think that here's how I see it. They signed Fisher as the main tank. They sign they re-sign Gargoyle, and then they sign Janu as the ball. Janu's ball is good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't disagree with
hot
that.
ball.
Don't worry, if they weren't mentioned, they weren't mentioned for a reason. Even HEADPHONE is rumored to be on New York Excelsior. Still no confirmation on that, but we've already heard from.
OG's. I've heard rumors of OG to Atlanta.
I've heard rumors of OG to Florida.
How about the rest of
That
the
too.
people on the board? Like
Kaiser staying on tier 2 forever.
Fuse, Sanguinar, going to the Mayhem, possibly.
I already said.
I don't think.
Still want their finger to be
why-
pointed on somebody on this
I
team.
think
to be
Fuse-
They need. They're gonna need a. It doesn't look like they have any priorities for flex support though.
No,
Just look
because
at
Gundam Jim's great. He plays everything at a top level.
You wouldn't need
What
a
if
backup
you
flex
double
support if your
flex?
flex
True.
support handles well.
True.
And if they're trying to recuperate on budgets, chances are they still want to keep most of their existing players that got them to where they are. Mostly Gangnam Jin, but I can think
But
of
hey,
BQB being
if
continued.
all goes wrong, Kuki can play the main support.
He can play a great main support for someone who signed up as a off
Toby
tank.
would
Play the
actually fit.
Lucio. He can play the back.
Toby would fit. Toby and Sanguinar would fit perfectly because Toby can play Baptiste and
Yes,
Mercy.
Toby can play Baptiste. But you know who else
So
can?
Fisher, you said, yeah, but double flex support metas.
Yeah,
Why-
definitely.
why is
Toby
your
Sanguinar would
strength-
actually be not that bad because Toby could be like the mentor to Sanguinar. Because Sanguinar is like the young blood. He's like, I'm really good, but I'm still young and I still don't know everything. So maybe I could like have some sort of like internal help. And obviously, Cookie is not going to be good enough. So we may have like Toby could like teach him how to be like a better main support.
I love
And-
I love Florida Mayhem's just social media presence.
This is
Me
a
too.
great social media presence from just
Great
their
social
manager. Their general
From
manager.
Albert.
Their
doing
manager is
work.
so dude. Their social media manager is so fucking cool.
If you can have
If you-
MVP
yeah.
for most improved, which we've actually discussed back in episode 2, if you still are able to recall those who watched, Florida Mayhem's social media is absolutely pog.
Yeah,
I-
I'm
them
gonna
and
go
the
ahead and say
Valiant.
that. The Valiant.
Them
I
and the Valiant
personally
are great.
I really like the social media of the Mayhem is amazing. I'm gonna be honest. I really like the Mayhem's YouTube content. It's not that bad. It's pretty good.
They do
I
have
think
Samito and
LA
J3. That's
That's
already
Samito.
bolstered their content creation.
Yes,
Yes,
and
so
apparently
this-
they're looking to sign another one, another
This is
stream,
gonna
another
be-
YouTuber or streamer.
Give it to me.
I
I'd
think
love
I
to
like
hear
the
it.
Florida Mayhem for their shit posting. I like the Valiant for like how real they can be. They're the first teams to, like, if something's going on in the world, they're the first team to, step up to the plate. Tell everyone how it is. But yeah, I mean,
Mayhem.
I think that's everything from me tonight. It was I have
Oh,
nothing else to say unless you two want to give some parting words.
happy to part.
Any thoughts?
I want to say that thank you for having me here. I greatly appreciate it. I
okay,
had
you're
a lot
done.
of fun.
Okay. Nice and blunt, I see. Well, it was good to catch up again. Just running through most, if not some of the key changes that have happened. There's definitely going to be more throughout Christmas.
All right, this
through
is
the holidays.
Toucan's player of the week is Leave. So I like
Leave?
Leave. because I like leave.
How do
I
you
want to
find leave?
leave.
It's just a word. Leave me alone. It's been tweeted in the last
It's
hour.
leave.
I think
the
it's
player.
just yeah. How do you find leave Overwatch?
Okay, so
It just
look up
sounds
the
like I want to
Chengdu.
leave Overwatch. Literally.
Okay, so look up the Chengdu Twitter and then surf through the Twitter until you find leave tagged.
Yeah, I don't know if
Is
they've
it
even tagged him.
I'm gonna say it. Yveltal is the best looking player on Chengdu.
A lot
Oh
of the
yeah,
Chengdu
they did
players
a
are
lot
very
of these
handsome.
photo
Yveltal's really good.
shoots.
Also
for-
has the most
Have
baby.
you seen what he used to look like back in like season 2?
Oh yeah,
He
Yveltal
was
looks. Holy.
thick. He was
Yveltal was
damn.
thick, and now Yveltal is handsome. Damn, look at that.
That's some paintbrush
Look
hair
at
that
that
he's got
luscious
in there.
blue
These
hair.
Korean and Chinese players have a very high standard for each other.
It's a photo shoot, dude.
For how
They
they're
made the
supposed
most of it. Look at
Oh,
this
look at
dimple.
Elsa. He looks cute. Elsa looks like a baby
And then we
face.
got Farway
Nice teeth.
1987.
Nice,
And we
nice
got
teeth.
Jimmy.
Look at far away.
Look at that nose. Look at that nose. Just look at that nose.
Look at Jimmy's nose. That's
That
the
mouth
face
and-
of. That's the nose of a winner.
That's the face of a hit scan.
Wait, what? Who said Jimmy was like one of the best? Like, there was a player that said Jimmy.
Etsy said
Etsy.
that he was the best Chinese widow
Yeah,
because
that's high
Etsy had
praise.
worked with. Etsy had played with Jimmy before, and he had actually like trained him or something.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Etsy
there
has.
it is.
This is a
Yeah.
true story that he himself has told everybody on Twitter. He's given him a little bit of help, and look, he's so proud to see him come up to the Overwatch League, all through his own efforts.
That is so wholesome.
Yeah, so look,
From
the
Etsy.
Chinese Overwatch scene
Ex-
does need to keep improving, and the only way that Chengdu can do it is if they can merge
It,
all that new talent into their roster.
I say this about every esport. If you can grab China's attention, you are doing something right.
Listen, this stream could
Unless
not.
you're Overwatch.
This stream
no
will
matter
not
how
end.
you do it, you're always doing something wrong.
The stream won't end without me just filling in one more segment here personally that I'd like to fill in. The show match is just one of many things that I'd love to be able to celebrate here. This King's Road match is quite
That's too
something.
much.
I'll try and squeeze as little of as I can, but it is just segments of here right now. I'll pause it. Eileen, Kaylee, Rio, Chrome, Mandu, and Karif. So these guys have already started showing up. Diem, Ersta, Fate, Void, Lee Jae, and Molly. This is
How did
just the
Ersta
same
do,
roster
by the
without
way?
Fearless right here with Ersta. I just don't think
How
there's
did
much of a
he
change.
and Molly?
And Molly.
Oh, hey, yeah, they did play Molly on this map. So just watching this
How
action.
good was Earth there, by the way? I didn't watch that match.
Me neither.
Look, if you compare Ersta to Fletter's Tracer, it's needing more
That's an
work.
unfair comparison.
It is an unfair
Yes.
comparison, but that's because he's still getting used to it. So this show match ultimately did not have any expectations of what they'll look like next year. I think it's pretty clear that whoever won these matches still had a good firm grasp of like the team synergy that they needed. They weren't throwing, they gave it their all. No money
They
was
probably
involved, but they
wanted
did certainly
this.
travel, and some were playing online. So they actually had empty stages
Damn,
or half empty stages.
Molly
and play
just said,
online.
"Screw you to Eileen."
I mean, look at this Kaylee match. I mean, look at him duck.
Imagine,
He's popping.
oh, look at that. He's just feeding into the back line. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Reeve, you're a feeder.
They just can't get rid of Rio, and that's what happens. Rio just takes you out.
Rio, can you
Eileen's
kill...
still
okay,
looking
thank you.
fresh. So if you're thinking of a matchup between Diem Ersta would just completely dominate against Eileen Michaeli, I was
Ali, you're a
pleased to say
feeder.
this didn't
I
happen,
like
dude.
how it's like you die once. You're a feeder.
He's died twice.
Yeah, no feeders allowed. Only pro
Mandu's
players who never
Mandu's
die.
on fucking boost.
You can
mode
only be
right
like
now.
Anamo. You never die. Literally, Anamo didn't die in season 2. Apparently.
Huh?
Yeah, suspect.
Apparently, in season 2, Anamo didn't die. Or at
Just
least,
got
like,
sla-
in one stage,
Oh, he
in
got
a stage, he
rocked in
didn't die
midair.
once.
Oh, Krong.
Yeah, that was a
Krong,
rock stun.
that?
Void got the upper hand
Krong.
and denied his ultimate.
That's why he's the better off tank.
See, there's
That's
no
why
way
he's
to
the
actually
better
put
off
that in the kill feed because nobody died. It was just an ultimate that just didn't get
But-
used. Unlike when you
Oh.
use his Grav or Diva's defense matrix, it's not
Say,
going to show up on the
watch
kill
for
feed.
Kaylee.
Feeding.
Watch
Both
for
SIGs
Kaylee.
are feeding.
Look at the Shanghai Dragons is feeding. What are you talking about? Look, they get the res and they die again.
You couldn't kill a Resi Mercy. You're fucking dog shit.
Yeah, look,
But
what is going
Kaylee
on?
killed the Mercy flying at Mach speed.
Exactly that. This is what I can't wait to see. He is at home on Gibraltar. He looked fantastic on everybody's favorite
All
map,
right,
King's Row.
all right.
That's all I've got
Also,
to
look at
do, yeah.
Kaylee's cam. Look at it.
Can I appreciate Rio also wears pajamas throughout this whole
Oh,
match?
look, Tracer
Doesn't take it
London
off.
calling. 3 out of
Rio
4.
just earned himself a position on the chat.
Like I said, it's
He
just all
goes-
blank chairs.
He pulls up.
He
He
just
pulls
rocks
up
up.
to the league in pajamas.
Yeah, these guys are
Alright.
clearly in their own stations. But that's all I've got to share.
Alright.
That's me wrapping up. Would you like to share the
Thanks for showing
socials?
us your Blizzard dashboard.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Blizzard dashboard.
The Blizzard dashboard.
Just completely engulfing all of our profile pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It's better
But yeah, good episode. Brain, do you want to say anything? Plug anything?
There's nothing for me to plug other than my Nintendo Switch friend code, which I can't plug.
now. Probably not. But
Okay.
you can DM it to everybody in our
I'll
Discord
type
server.
it in chat. I'll type it in chat.
Come
So,
and check
yeah,
us
for
out if
anyone-
you haven't already. We've got
Definitely
ourselves
go
up
check
on
them out.
Twitter. And check us out on Discord so you can get this man's lovely battle tag and his Nintendo Switch code.
Yes. If you have Splatoon 2, you can play with me. I would consider myself fairly good at the game.
I'm more
Alright,
of
that's
a
a self promo.
yeah. I'm more than
I'm
happy
more of
to say this
I'm more of
game.
a Pokemon guy, but
Me
that's
too.
just
I love
me.
Pokemon. I play competitive Pokemon.
But I'm not paying money to Nintendo for a membership.
Yet.
I'd rather just play Pokemon down.
Yet, because I did, but I've moved on and I've
Nope,
become
nope.
very comfortable with Valkyria Chronicles. I've gone with the anime war otaku anime that you can play.
All right,
Nonsense.
let's close it. We're
Right now, I'm just playing
closing.
Hades.
All right, everyone.
Game
I
of the
hope
year.
you have I hope you have all enjoyed your time here. I hope you have a good evening, afternoon, morning,
Wherever you
or
are in the world,
maybe something else.
we hope to see you guys
Wherever you
very
are in the
soon.
world.
Bye.
Thank you to
Adios,
Brain.
amigos.
Adios. Nos vemos pronto. I can speak fluent Spanish.
The
Are
Toucan
you
is
Spa-
Spanish.
Are you Hispanic?
Hey, what about those free Spanish
yes.
lessons?
I'm.
Did you end up taking?
DM me. DMs are open.